he's been wanting to put garlic chives in everything.
Well, not everything.
Dad, the side of your face is drooping. Mom?
It's probably nothing.
Dad, are you okay?
You're slurring. Why are you slurring? Raise your arms up in the air for me.
Dad, are you okay?
Gracie, call 911. Honey?
Dad!
Tim!
I need an ambulance to Sarah Fuller.
Tim! Tim, look at me, Gracie. Tell them to hurry. Tim, look at me. Look at me, Tim. I don't know. I think he's having a stroke.
I think my dad is having a stroke.
Tim, what's going on? It's cold. Are you cold, honey? Are you cold? Okay. Gracie? See, Gracie's gonna come, sweetheart. We're just gonna go. We're just gonna go in the ambulance right now. We're gonna go to the hospital. Okay? Okay. Huh? I'm right here. I'm right here. Gracie, meet us there. I'm right here. I'm right here. Okay. Okay, here we go. You just stay right here. You just stay and breathe. Just breathe. Tim? Tim?
A stroke can strike at almost any age with no advance warning.
With the pain that I suffered watching my son.
I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, that's life. You just never know, what's going to happen. And the expectation, if you had asked me before, I would think if you're having a stroke, you probably know it when it's happening, but you don't.
Dr. Diana Zhang is a neurology professor at Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia.
Anyone can have a stroke, even young people. There are more young adults suffering from strokes.
One American has a stroke every 40 seconds. 10 to 15% of stroke victims are only 18 to 49 years old.
About 50% of the time, when a young person has a stroke, we can't figure out the cause. There is no regeneration of brain cells. Once you've had a stroke, the brain cells that have been affected are dead. For some patients, we offer intensive physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. But in terms of direct interventions that we can provide to patients, still none to help them regain what they've lost.
It's impossible.
Staff said that your son was not expected to survive. Use the word miracle.
We have some remarkable video to show you tonight. Stroke victims making incredible progress, literally overnight.
Experimental treatment with special stem cells. The doctors are stunned and the patients are overjoyed.
So no wonder some are calling a new experimental treatment for its victims a stroke of genius.
$18, 20 years I've been doing this business, which is regeneration, keeping the person in a healthy condition, enjoying his quality of life. I used to be an intensive care. I usually like to attend to the patient from the physiological aspect. So physiology means body function, and that is important to me, rather than giving a Band-Aid for what ails you, because that Band-Aid will eventually fall off, and then you need another Band-Aid, etc., etc. Always you have to be at the cutting edge of what's happening. And if I go to the root cause of the disease, try to eliminate them.
All of this to this man. Without him, I couldn't walk, and probably also my speech is better because of
this. But this is a very short period of time. In other words, about 3 or 4 weeks maximum.
Not even 3 months. It was
3 weeks,
yes,
basically.
It was 20th of December to February, what is now?
20th or so.
Yeah. So it's December, January, February, 2 months.
All right.
Thank you.
My best.
You are fantastic. You are my hero.
Thank
Why did it go so fast
With Klaus.
with Klaus?
You know, Klaus had hemiplegia, left-sided hemiplegia. The deficit was in the right cerebral hemisphere due to a blood clot. Now, once this happens, there is no blood supply to the neurons. The neurons they start dying and they start causing inflammation because of that and create, the hemiplegia, the left-sided hemiplegia, okay? So now he developed hemiplegia the last week of November 2021. But now he's able to walk, function, navigate, does everything ahead of anybody else can ever imagine. Because recovery of neurons and recovery of nerve tissue start to recover 6 months or a year later. This is how slow the recovery would be. And not every one of them that recover and return to normal. But now Klaus is on his way to return to normal, to be fully in control of his motor function on the left side. Why? Because we did what you call augmented treatment and multifaceted treatment, not only one. So we nourished his mitochondria with, the mitochondria are the organelles inside the cell that produce energy, produce ATP, which is the source of energy, the high phosphorus bond, adenosine triphosphate. Meanwhile, we put him in hyperbaric chamber where is not depending on the blood flow to the brain because we dissolve oxygen in water or cellular solution or extracellular solution. So under hyperbaric condition, we don't need blood to carry the oxygen to the cell. So we put him under 2 atmospheres of pure oxygen, 90 minutes every day for 10 sessions. So it's like as if you're diving deep under, 2 atmosphere pressure. As a result of that, that will enhance and stimulate the recovery as well as stimulate new cells that the brain has to be activated to start creating motor function, cognition, control of thoughts, everything, because we are a brain basically. Once we deprive the brain of oxygen and nutrition, this and that, we become like a vegetable, you see what I'm saying? But since we had him early on and we effectively treated him, a multi-arm approach, multi-faceted approach, therefore everything leads to one thing, is that increased nutrition and oxygenation of the cell. Meanwhile, I put him on something called external counter pulsation machine that increase the carotid blood flow up to the hemisphere, the brain, by 180% of normal. So that increased perfusion in the capillaries of the cerebral blood vessels generate something called VEGF, vascular endothelial growth factor. That vascular endothelial growth factor generate new blood vessels to replace those blood vessels that has been put out of function, out of order, because being plugged up with the cerebral vascular accident that he had. Meanwhile, after we
prepared him for the best condition. Then I injected him intravenously and intrathecally with exosomes. Exosomes are RNAs, membrane RNA, and they are cell-to-cell communicator to stimulate his own stem cells in the brain, as well as to enhance to reverse the neurodegeneration that occurred. All that, when we finished, I sent him to have his neuromuscular function stimulated with high electromagnetic machines to bring his muscles atrophied during his episode. So now we bring the muscle function back, increase muscle mass, increase coordination, and help him to reverse all the deficit, the muscular deficit. This way we were able to rehabilitate him. None of those things could have resulted like doing the old traditional way, which is physiotherapy and physiotherapy and physiotherapy. He would have never recovered as fast as he recovered now.
And so how do you explain that it went so much faster than for the other patient? What was the difference in Klaus'
All
treatment?
these factors that I mentioned to you, number one is the hyperbaric chamber, number two is the EECP, number three is the mitochondrial enhancement of nutrition and function for the cells to work at its, produce energy to be able to help him with the motor function and the brain function and the recovery. Number four is the exosomes that I gave him, and number five is by the electromagnetic neuromuscular stimulation.
And the other patient didn't do the combination, he only did which ones?
No, traditionally speaking, after a stroke, the patient is sent to rehab, basically. And the rehab, they do physical therapy and occupational therapy and help them with walking and gait and that sort of thing. That's it. So, and you allow nature to take its course for him, wishfully so, to recover. And some people don't. Or they have just some recovery, but not to that extent as Klaus has.
But it's just me being curious here. You mentioned another patient of yours where it took a year and a half. Did he not do all the things you did with Klaus?
No, these were not my patients. These were patients that I know of them that they followed the traditional approach.
Okay, got it. Are you training people to understand all those things that you're doing? Are some people learning with you currently? Because I hear what you're doing is quite unique and exceptional. Are you teaching to younger doctors?
I lecture, I give talks, but I have not started teaching to other doctors.
I think we need to work on that. You need to mentor other people, right? But that's if you take him on tour, and maybe some people will come in.
I send him to a colleague of mine as a cardiologist, and he called me last night and he said, "This is a phenomenal result and it is unbelievable." And he said I should publish it or share it with the world, but maybe at the proper time.